and baseball. This world-class amusement park brings together college and university sports scholars from across the nation to compete in Boardwalk and Baseball's Super Bowl of Sports Trivia, an ultimate test of sports knowledge. 32 collegiate teams battle in a head-to-head single elimination tournament to determine the first ever national champion of sports trivia. At stake, a total prize purse of $50,000. And now, the host of Boardwalk and Baseball's Super Bowl of Sports Trivia, Chris Berman.
All right, thank you very much, everybody, and welcome to Boardwalk and Baseball's Super Bowl of Sports Trivia. We have a first-round game today in our battle towards the first national championship team of sports trivia. And we have with us today, from Ohio, one of the great nicknames of all time, the Zips of Akron. Welcome, Akron. And now we go over to the left coast, where we have the Golden Bears from Cal Berkeley. Welcome from the Pac-10. And maybe a home court advantage, I don't know. Players, round one of this is very simple. We're going to ask some kickoff questions. We'll tell you the category, and everybody get their hands on their buzzers. And if you're the first one to buzz, I call on you. If you get it correct, it's 5 points. Then if you are correct, then your team will get an extra point question, at which point you will have 5 seconds to confer, and then the captain can give me the answer, and so you could win a total of 10 points. If you miss, the other team, the other school, has a chance to answer correctly. So I think that's simple. You know why you're here, because you know sports and love it. And now let's see how well you know and love it. So let's get right on with our game. First question, Akron and Berkeley, comes from baseball. What major league pitcher holds the record for the most no-hitters in a career? Berkeley, John.
Nolan Ryan.
Nolan Ryan is correct. 5 points. Extra point question. Until 1981, when Nolan Ryan passed him in the record book, Sandy Koufax had thrown more no-hitters than any other pitcher in baseball history. How many no-hitters did Koufax hurl? You have 5 seconds.
4.
Dan, that is correct. 10 points for Berkeley. From awards now, both schools. Aside from Ivy Leaguers, which some of us once were, only one player from a New England college has ever won the Heisman Trophy. Name that Boston College star. Dan, Berkeley.
Doug Flutie.
Doug Flutie from Boston College is correct. Your extra point question. Which team is the likeliest winner of the Grey Cup? The Miami Dolphins, the Montreal Canadiens, or the Ottawa Rough Riders?
Ottawa Rough Riders.
Ottawa Rough Riders, CFL. So 20 points for Berkeley. Akron, let's get in here with basketball. Either team has a shot here. What player holds the NBA record for most points scored in a single game? Akron, Kevin.
Wilt Chamberlain.
Wilt Chamberlain is correct. In 1962. And in that 1962 game, for your extra point, exactly how many points did Wilt score?
100.
100 is correct. In Hershey, Pennsylvania, the game was played. Now, both schools, boxing. No one stays champ forever. Take a look. It is a visual question. Take a look at this picture on your monitors, and you at home, and tell me who this man defeated. Mike, Akron.
Sugar Ray Leonard.
That is correct, because you were looking at Roberto Duran, and he did beat Sugar Ray Leonard in Montreal. So your extra point question, Akron. In 1962, Floyd Patterson and Sonny Liston met in the ring in a world heavyweight title bout. Who won that fight? 5 seconds.
Sonny Liston.
Sonny Liston is correct. Knocked out Floyd in the first round. And we're tied at 20. Either team now. Football. Before Super Bowl III, this brash young quarterback, that's Berkeley, Dan.
Joe Namath.
Yeah, he was brash. Joe Namath guaranteed the win for the New York Jets, and Joe Willie Namath certainly kept his promise. And so the extra point question, in the National Football League, how many teams from each conference make it into postseason playoff competition?
5.
5 is correct. So 30-20, Berkeley leads. Auto racing now. In the winner's circle at the 1987 Indianapolis 500, this winner had champagne poured over his head. Dan?
Al Unser.
That is the Unsers. Al Unser Sr. and Jr. Son poured the champagne over the father's head. It's a good thing it wasn't Gatorade, because we're sick of that. And your extra point question, in 1902, the New York Times sponsored one of the earliest auto races. The six entrants left New York and headed west. 8,000 miles later, after driving across the icy Bering Strait, the frozen tundra of Siberia, the cars arrived in this European capital city. Was that city Rome, Paris, or London?
Paris.
Paris is correct. The Great Race, the movie with Tony Curtis, was made about that one. Tennis now for both schools. In 1877, Spencer Gore won the first men's championship of this then minor Akron. Kevin.
Wimbledon.
Wimbledon is correct. Men's championship at Wimbledon. And your extra point question, zips. In 1957, at the All England Croquet and Lawn Tennis Club, this woman became the first black ever to win the prestigious Wimbledon title. Who was she? Tom, your answer, Captain?
No idea.
Okay, well, obviously it's Althea Gibson, won the singles title in 1957. All right, Olympics now for both schools. At the 1980 Olympics, sportscaster Al Michaels asked, do you believe Berkeley? Dan?
Ice hockey?
Yeah, that's pretty good, because that was the sport that he was talking about. Do you believe in miracles? As the United States won the gold. In what year now, your extra point question, and in what year and in what city did the United States win its first Olympic gold medal in hockey?
1960 Squaw Valley.
That's correct, not far from where school is. You could drive there, right? 60-25, Berkeley leads now both schools. This is baseball. This major league team constructed an entire city around its elaborate spring training facilities in Berkeley. Dan?
Vero Beach.
I'm going to keep reading it. That's wrong. This major league team constructed Akron. You have a chance now. Constructed an entire city around its elaborate spring training facilities in Vero Beach, Florida. Who was that team? Kevin, Akron.
Los Angeles Dodgers.
The Los Angeles Dodgers is correct. And so now you get the extra point question. Name the St. Louis Cardinal first baseman who had a dramatic ninth-inning home run to knock off the Dodgers in the 1985 National League Championship Series.
Jack Clark.
Jack Clark. Hit a homer off Tom Niedenfuer, who, let's face it, has never been the same since he gave up that gopher. All right, 60-35, Berkeley leads this in golf now. It's April 13th, 1986. Trailing by 6 after 9. Berkeley, John.
Jack Nicklaus.
Jack Nicklaus. He came back to win the Masters in 1986. And your extra point, Berkeley. Which of these trophies is awarded to female golfers? The Curtis Cup, the Ryder Cup, or the Walker Cup? Dan, answer.
Curtis.
The Curtis Cup is correct. And that ends our first round. Berkeley has the early lead, 70-35, but we've got 3 rounds left to go, and we continue at Boardwalk and Baseball Super Bowl of College Trivia in a moment.
Once every 4 years, something happens in this country. Once every 4 years, the Olympics come to America. And once every 4 years, we all come together. Budweiser is proud to help bring the Olympics to America. Good picture. And Americans closer together.
SeaWorld, an overview. SeaWorld, an underview. SeaWorld, like you've never seen it before.
We are back at Boardwalk and Baseball's Super Bowl of Sports Trivia. We want to correct our score. It is Berkeley leading Akron, but it's by a count of 60-35. Before we move on to round number 2, we thought we would say hi and learn a little bit about our 6 players who have come to join us here in Orlando. Akron, Kevin, we'll start with you. Tell us what you guys are all about.
My name is Kevin Pierce. I am from Massillon, Ohio. I'm 21. I'm entering my senior year at the University of Akron, and I'm majoring in mass media communications, getting into sports broadcasting.
Uh-oh. I can't dissuade you from that, huh? Keep it going there. Go ahead, Tom.
Hi, I'm Tom Bandwin, and I'm from Seven Hills, Ohio. I'm 20 years old. I'm in my 3rd year at Akron, and I'm majoring in electrical engineering.
Go ahead, Mike.
I'm Mike Vargo. I'm from Barberton, Ohio. I'm 22 years old. I'm an accounting major in my senior year.
And it was the nickname The Zips that got you all to go there, right?
Oh, that's right.
Obviously. Well, welcome aboard, Akron. We're glad to have you. And for California, Berkeley, from the Pac-10, John and company, what are you guys all about?
Hi, I'm John Greenbaum. I'm a junior from Walnut, California. I'm 19 years old. I'm a legal studies major.
My name's Dandy Carbonell. I'm from Lafayette, California. I'm a junior history major, and I just turned 21. Having a really good time.
You should.
My name is Ivan Fraven. I'm from Austin, Texas. I'm a sophomore at Cal. I'm a political science major and a Warriors season ticket holder.
All right. All right. Likes his basketball. We wish you all the best of luck in the future, and obviously now, because round 2, same rules except we juice it up. The questions are worth 10 points each on both the kickoff questions and the extra point questions. So with Berkeley leading 60-35, let us start round 2. Football now, both schools. These days, he's a lovable actor, but once he was known as a bone-crushing linebacker for the Dan. Berkeley.
Alex Karras.
I'll keep reading the question. That's wrong. Once he was known as a bone-crushing linebacker with the University of Illinois. And Akron, Tom.
Dick Butkus.
Dick Butkus is correct. Hall of Famer from the Bears. Extra point question now. One of the few bright spots for the 1970 New Orleans Saints was Tom Dempsey's record-busting and game-winning field goal against the Detroit Lions. How long was that field goal?
63 yards.
That's absolutely right. They beat the Detroit Lions. J.D. North's first game, I believe, as head coach, and they carried him off the field. Okay, basketball for both squads. Name the Atlanta Hawks star who in his rookie season proved he did deserve the nickname. That's Akron Kevin.
Spud Webb?
That's wrong, all right. Berkeley, he deserved the nickname the Human Highlight Film. Berkeley, John.
Dominique Wilkins.
Dominique Wilkins is right. Extra point question. In 1979, this NBA team became the first to sign a woman player. Was that team the New York Knicks, the Indiana Pacers, or the Los Angeles Clippers?
Indiana Pacers.
The Indiana Pacers is correct. It was Ann Myers. She never played. Hockey now, both teams. Name the NHL expansion team that bullied their way to their first Stanley Cup in 1974. Dan, Berkeley.
Philadelphia Flyers.
The Philadelphia Flyers with Bernie Perron in goal. That's right. And your extra point question for 10 more points. What trophy would a player receive for leading the NHL in scoring? The Ross, the Norris, or the Vezina Trophy?
The Ross Trophy.
The Art Ross Trophy. That's correct. 155 Berkeley. This is a visual question now for baseball. The World Series can bring out ball players' emotions like no other contest. If you look at this picture, tell me what team this man pitched for in the Berkeley, John.
The Philadelphia Phillies.
Philadelphia Phillies. It's Tug McGraw, the unmistakable Tug McGraw. Extra point now. Within 3, how many pitches did Don Larson make in his World Series perfect game?
90.
Close, no cigar. It was 97 pitches, so anywhere between 94 and 100. That stuff, and you didn't have to tell me which exactly pitch each one was either. Olympics, okay, both schools. The Canadian city of Calgary was chosen to be the site of the 1988 Akron, Kevin.
Winter Olympics?
That's wrong. To be the site of the 1988 Winter Olympics. In which province of Canada is Calgary located, Berkeley? Ivan.
British Columbia?
No. So we tossed that one out. That was Alberta, of course, for Calgary. Next kickoff question is boxing. In 47 professional fights, this heavyweight boxer set a record by knocking out 42 opponents. But in 1974, in the African nation of Zaire, Berkeley, Dan.
Muhammad Ali.
No, that's incorrect. In the African nation of Zaire, he himself was knocked out by Muhammad Ali. Mike, Akron. George Foreman in the Rumble in the Jungle at 4 o'clock in the morning. All right, and so your extra point question. From 1946 to 1951, Sugar Ray Robinson held which world title? Lightweight, welterweight, or middleweight? Your answer, Tom.
Middleweight.
No, I'm sorry. It was welterweight from 46 to 51. Later on, he became a little heavier, as we all do, and he was a middleweight champ. Baseball now for both teams. In 1983, who was the Kansas City player who hit the famous Pine Tar Akron? Mike.
George Brett.
George Brett, that's right. Of course, in Yankee Stadium. Now, the extra point question, visual question. Ted Williams hit for a .406 average in 1941. Look at this picture. This man came close to duplicating this feat in 1980. Tell me within 2 points his league-leading batting average that year.
390.
390 is right on the money. George Brett, of course, did that in 1980 for the Royals. So Akron's it's getting close, 110 to 85. Football, both teams. Which USFL team doled out a reported $40 million to sign quarterback Steve Akron? Kevin.
Los Angeles Express.
The Los Angeles Express, sometimes known as the Los Angeles Distress. And in your extra point question, how long is each end zone in the Canadian Football League?
25 yards.
25 yards. When they tell you to go long in the CFL, you can really go long. And that ends our second round. Akron has really pulled to a close game now, within 5. Berkeley leads 110 to 105. Back with round 3 in just a moment.
If you're in the market for a new 1988 Ford pickup truck, there is no better place to make a deal than right now at Bob T. Joel Ford and Fairborn. At Bob T. Joel Ford, every new 88 Ford pickup in our inventory has been specially marked down at prices starting as low as $6,895 after factory rebate is applied. Make your last stop your best stop and save like never before on a brand new 88 Ford pickup. At the leader, that's Bob T. Joel Ford and Fairborn, your volume discount dealer.
You do the best you can do. Hard work and dreams come true.
Your best quality Ford dealers have the truck values you've been waiting for. Now get a $500 cash bonus on the fun tough Ford Bronco 2. Or get a $500 cash bonus on the best-selling minivan in America, the Ford Aerostar. Cash back on Ford trucks only at your best quality Ford dealers.
Ford dealers, quality for life.
The area around the Arctic is so harsh and unforgiving, few ever visit, except for killer whales. Young whales and old, large and small, families playing and loving and frolicking and relaxing and doing all the things that make killer whales killer whales. Of course, few people will ever see the whales in the Arctic. Everyone, however, can see them at SeaWorld.
He's one of the nation's most deadly shooters. J.R. Reed leads North Carolina against Derek Lewis and Maryland in an ACC battle. Live Saturday afternoon on ESPN.
And welcome back to the Super Bowl of Sports Trivia here at Boardwalk and Baseball. I'm Chris Berman, and we have a great game going between Berkeley and Akron. Berkeley leads 110 to 105. And now it's our third round, and this is our specialty round. We have 4 categories: baseball, football, basketball, or a sports page, general sports knowledge. And each team has their choice. The trailing team gets their choice of category first. And Akron, Tom, you were going to choose?
Basketball.
Basketball. You look like a good rebounder anyway, so that makes sense. And so Berkeley, that leaves 1 of 3. What would you choose?
We'll take baseball.
You will take baseball. All right. And so each correct answer is worth 10. Each team will have 5 seconds to confer and give the answer. If you miss, though, the question does go over to the other team, and they can win 10 points in addition to following up with their own. Ready? Round 3 now begins, and we'll start with Akron with basketball questions. Name the young woman who was the first to wear a Harlem Globetrotters uniform.
Lynette Woodard.
Lynette Woodard is correct for 10 points. Baseball for Berkeley. He has a prestigious award named in his honor, and he also has the record for lifetime Major League wins for a pitcher. Who was that?
Cy Young.
Denton Young. Cy Young, 511 wins. Basketball now for Akron. What is the given first name of Los Angeles Lakers guard Magic Johnson?
Urban.
Yeah, I think we know it's Irvin Johnson. That's right, for 10 points. Now for Berkeley baseball. In Major League Baseball, in feet and inches, how far is the rubber on the pitcher's mound from home plate?
60 feet, 6 inches.
That is correct. For 10 points, Berkeley still leads by 5. Basketball now for Akron. In 1987, the stock in this NBA team was put on the New York Stock Exchange at a price of $18.50 a share. Name that team.
Boston Celtics.
The Boston Celtics. That's right, for 10 points. Baseball for Berkeley. Think carefully now about this one. Against what team did Babe Ruth hit his first Major League home run?
New York Yankees?
Yes, the New York Yankees used a pitcher/outfielder for the Boston Red Sox, and then they traded him away in one of the most foolish trades ever. He hit it against the Yankees. There we go. I'm so worked up over that trade. In basketball, Akron. In 1976, this New York team won the very last ABA championship. Name that team.
New York Nets.
That's right. Dr. J, joy of serving Dr. K, Larry Keenan. Baseball for Berkeley. After being turned down by the Washington Senators baseball team, this Havana University pitcher went back to Cuba to pursue political studies and start a revolution. Who was that?
Fidel Castro.
Fidel Castro. Great curveball, but also leader of Cuba. That's correct for 10 points. Akron basketball. What team ended UCLA's record-winning streak in basketball in 1974? Was it Oregon State, Stanford, or Notre Dame?
Notre Dame.
It was Notre Dame. The Walton Gang and company lost to Notre Dame. That's correct. Baseball for Berkeley now. Henry Aaron led the league in home runs 4 times and retired with a career record 755 homers. The question is, what was the most home runs Henry Aaron ever hit in one season?
44?
Sorry, it's 47. Oops, I shouldn't have answered that question. Let me check with the judge. All right. Next baseball question on the stack, which Akron can answer only as a rebuttal here, okay? What famous baseball figure, after a more famous quote, said, and we quote here, "Give me some scratching, diving, hungry ball players who come to kill you"?
Leo DeRocher.
Yes, Leo DeRocher is right. After his famous nice guys finished last. That was tough. Akron gets the 10 points. Now here's your basketball question. He was the first man, aside from Wilt Chamberlain, to lead the NBA in scoring during the 1960s. Was he Jerry West, Rick Barry, or Pete Maravich?
Rick
Tom,
Barry.
your answer. Rick Barry with the Warriors is correct. Baseball now for Berkeley. No, we don't want to read that one. In May of 1977, this baseball team owner took over the dugout for a day and managed his team. The next day, league president Chub Feeney put an end to his managerial career. Name that baseball owner.
Ted Turner.
It is Ted Turner. The Atlanta Braves, correct for 10 points, and that is the end of round number 3. Akron leads a tight one, 175 to 160. We'll be back with our 100-second dash for cash, our lightning round, and most exciting to settle the winner in just a moment.
You know, I love to watch the people who come here to SeaWorld.
They never dress up.
Yeah, and where are their feathers? And look how they get around. I know. Why don't they use their tummies? And those hairdos. Yeah. Aren't they a riot? They haven't even got sense enough to come in out of the heat.
I could stand here forever and watch these folks at SeaWorld's new people encounter.
Well, actually, it's the new penguin encounter, now open at SeaWorld.
With every Budweiser enjoyed, the promise endures. The promise of genuine quality. Quality you can taste. Clean, crisp, Beechwood aged Budweiser. Always certain, always satisfying. Because we know you wouldn't have it any other way. That's why this Bud's for you.
First round action between Akron and Berkeley continues here at Boardwalk in baseball, with Akron leading 175 to 160. We have what we call our 100-second dash. Players, And that way we will find a winner, because this is the final round. We will ask as many questions as we can in 100 seconds. And you put your hands on the buzzer. If you correctly answer, and you buzz first, correctly answer, you're either right or wrong. You're right, you get 10 points. If you're wrong, you lose 10 points for your team, and we move on to the next question. I'll resolve all wrong answers after it's all over, and also we'll ask the audience to hold their applause, because you guys got to think a little overtime here, because this is where we decide everything. All right, players set, hands on buzzers. We're going to start the clock now. The 1984 Summer Olympic Games took place in what city? Akron, Kevin.
Los Angeles, California.
That's correct. What PGA golfer is known as Super Mex? Berkeley, John.
Lee Trevino.
That's wrong. The judge says it's wrong, as Chi-Chi was first. Name the New York Yankee slugger who hit his record-setting 61st homer. Berkeley, John.
Roger Maris.
There you go. That's correct. Besides Regret, name the only other Philly to win the Kentucky Derby. Nope. Move along. Whose record did Martina Navratilova tie when she won her 8th Wimbledon? Berkeley.
Billie Jean King.
That's incorrect. Who did Muhammad Ali defeat to win his first world heavyweight champion? Akron.
Sonny Liston.
Sonny Liston is correct for 10 points. What's the only NFL team to have a star on its helmet? Berkeley.
Dallas Cowboys.
That's correct. What Ivy League school did Rutgers beat in the first intercollegiate football? Akron. Kevin.
Princeton.
Princeton is right. What Celtics player led the NBA in assists, a record 8? Akron. Mike.
Bob Cousy.
Bob Cousy is correct. What team was Sandy Koufax pitching against when he tossed his 1965 perfect Berkeley?
Chicago
John.
Cubs.
Chicago Cubs is right. In what city is the Sugar Bowl played? Berkeley. Dan.
New Orleans.
New Orleans is right. What American League Baseball club plays its home spring training games in Palm Springs? Berkeley. Dan.
California Angels.
California Angels is right. What is Larry Bird's jersey number with the ball? Akron. Tom.
33.
33. The 1976 Winter Olympic Games were held in which Austrian? Berkeley? John.
Innsbruck.
Innsbruck is right. That's the end of the round. And Akron is the winner. They beat Berkeley 225 to 200. And we'll be back to wrap things up in a minute. But first, we want to read you those incorrect answers. Martina Navratilova, whose record did she tie when she won her 8th Wimbledon singles title, was Helen Wills Moody. The other Philly besides Regret was Genuine Risk to win the Kentucky Derby. And, of course, Lee Trevino, you really knew, John, as PGA golfer, as Super Mex. And we'll be back to wrap it up.
I'm Kurt Kramer with Don Kramer Lincoln Mercury. Right now, we have over 50 topazes on the lot to choose from, and you can drive one away for just $149 a month. Or if you prefer, take $1,000 back in cash. That's right, over 50 on the lot to choose from, and drive away in a 1988 Topaz for only $149 a month, or get up to $1,000 back in cash. So stop in, test drive the Topaz of your choice today, and remember, $149 a month or $1,000 back in cash, only at Don Kramer Lincoln Mercury.
Time for a new ceiling? Then come to Paneltown, your Armstrong Ceiling headquarters. Paneltown has the area's largest selection of Armstrong ceiling tiles, commercial ceilings, residential or exotic hard-to-find styles. Don't look anywhere else because Paneltown has them all, in stock and on display. Do-it-yourselfers, Paneltown has the expert help to make installing your new Armstrong ceiling quick, easy, and affordable. Come see the complete line of Armstrong ceilings in stock at all 3 Paneltown locations.
Martina Navratilova leads a powerful field of top-ranked players at the Virginia Slims of California. See the championship match live Sunday afternoon at 3:30 Eastern, only on ESPN.
And an exciting first-round match between Akron and Berkeley. Akron wins at 225 to 200. Guys from Cal, Stanford band comes in next time. Have fun. We enjoyed seeing you. You go home with $1,000. For Akron, you're back in our next round, and we'll see you next time on Boardwalk and Baseball Super Bowl of Sports Trivia. I'm Chris Berman.